Hello there.
The circle is now complete. When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master.
Only a master of evil, Darth.
What is it?
I think I've just found out what they're hiding down here. This place isn't a fortress. It's a tomb.
It's a tomb.
Hello. It's a tomb. It's not a tumor.
Good morning. Hello there.
How's everyone doing tonight? I'm thinking the majority of people would have enjoyed this episode. The 20-somethings, the 30-somethings, and most of us, 29 and older people. I personally, really enjoyed it. Maybe my favorite episode so far. I'll go out on a limb and say that.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah,
wasn't too short. As
finally
always,
got Anakin.
Some entertainment. I always hope it's a little longer with these kind of shows. But yeah, like you just said there, we finally get to see, the wanted, a little bit of flashbacks with Anakin and Obi-Wan, and it looked okay. Like I did get some pictures. It was neat because there was new footage, right? It was definitely new shot footage, and either some makeup or a little bit of digital de-agery went on there. Yeah. But it for what they were trying to do, it freaking worked. Like they did the dialogue, they did what happened, and as we see in the episode, it did go.
I'd like to see more of it.
I don't know, 5 or 6 times throughout the episode. Whenever there was instead of like a wipe, like a George Lucas wipe or a Ken Burns wipe, it went to like Vader. Like that's how they switched scenes from Kenobi to Vader, was that little bit of a flashback, and it was kind of neat. Welcome to Michael. Welcome some of our
Michael. Good evening.
Our watchers and Shane, local boy.
Hello there.
Welcome, Shane. Hope you guys like the show. And for the love of Zuckus, of course.
Hey, Mackie.
Paul. Welcome, Paul. Hope you guys enjoyed the show.
Looks like they loved it.
A couple more hellos in. We usually average, 15, 25 by the end of the show.
That's what she said.
We'll keep going. If there's anyone, hopefully everyone in the chat has seen today's episode. It was 44 minutes long, I guess it said.
Yeah.
Had lots of Vader, had lots of Kenobi.
Vader back on a Star Destroyer.
Had one of my favorite characters of this show, and I thought she fucking rocked it tonight, man. She was awesome. Yeah.
There's that little niggle I've got, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, long live Reva. I got a new character to cheer on for. Yeah. Yes, I agree, Michael. I don't think there's been any episodes I disliked, but this one had some good pieces of the story that might shut maybe one person up on the broken internet who complained before they saw it and stuff like that. So I thought it was really good because I think it answered a couple of people's questions and of course showed a little bit of goodies here. So let me pull up, share my screen. And of course, in the opening credits, they tend to change it. Not every episode, but I did notice either last week or the week before. This is Paycheck Gonk.
Yeah,
he gets a little cameo in the beginning and with a nice blue light.
Clocking machine.
So, yeah, exactly. Gonk. Time to leave work. So I thought that was fantastic, man.
Yeah.
What a iconic character. He might not save the Star Wars universe, but I love him. And even Lola gets an opening credits. You can see how dirty my screen is here too. That's fantastic. But yeah, of course, Lola, left us with the red eye, as we know, is a
a restraining bolt.
droid, right?
Why would a restraining bolt reprogram her? I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, I guess that was kind of a new tech
Yeah,
introduced that I
restraining bolts
don't
are meant
recognize.
to keep them where they are out there. That's what restraining means. But yeah,
Like Leia kind of figured it out. Like, oh, I'll take this off and
she's not
throw it
Daphne,
away, kind of thing, as she does, right?
Yeah.
So, and yeah, the very first thing we see is, a digitally de-aged or maybe a really good makeup job, Hayden Christensen and his master Obi-Wan getting it on in a little mini Jedi training center, I guess. I think they wanted us to know that. As Michael's saying, like it was a nice twist, but I do think
we called it out, didn't we, from the beginning?
Spoilers.
That's
wanted us
what we
hate
said
her.
right at the beginning. Well, I said that she wanted Vader, not Obi-Wan. She wanted Anakin.
And
what she
they
did to her
wanted
friends.
us to hate Reva so much that people did actually hate her, like in real life. Like, oh, arr. And I give her credit for that only in a way like that she did what she was paid to frickin' do as an actor. Made people dislike her, and I think they disliked her character. Ewan looked great too. Like it's
the thing
it's
is
weird. Like 10 years is not a big age difference in an adult male, but I kind of noticed on Hayden a little more than Ewan because I'm pretty sure that's Ewan's real hair. Hayden, I'm assuming it's both their real hairs, right? Like
probably, yeah.
It was
the thing is, like for Ewan McGregor, end of the day, it was a job. For all these actors, it's just an acting job. Some of them probably may not even seen Star Wars, and they don't know what. But it's just an acting job for them. But like Ewan was a big Star Wars fan anyway because his uncle was in the bloody Star Wars. But
of course, yeah. It's a little.
It's still a paid job. End of the day, that's all they're doing, a paid job.
I think of someone like, of course, like Ewan and Hayden, because they're known for Star Wars amongst some other actors who've been on it, but it's one of the biggest things they'll ever do in their career is be in a Star Wars film or franchise or TV series. Like I'm being straight up honest. Like they may get another job that pays a couple bucks more, but they're not going to conventions and signing autographs for guests appearing on CSI, New York or whatever other jobs they get. This is a lifelong gig, if you want to call it that, when you look at people like David Prowse and Kenny Baker and Anthony Daniels.
Most of the background actors from Star Wars are still making a living off signing.
Yeah, and that's the only point I kind of make out of that. But so good on. I do think it's well cast. That I really do wish that frickin' robot talked. I just like it's a cool looking character. He ends up having a really important scene and stuff, but he can't even make a beat or something. And then we get Vader's Star Class destroyer ship. And I'm glad I got this little glimpse when Reva was invited aboard it. And at this exact scene is he badges her up, and she is now the Grand Inquisitor. So hold on here.
See, the thing is with this is they was obviously setting her up, but why would they set her up? Why would they do that? And why Vader wouldn't do that? That's not Vader's idea.
Okay, it was his idea, as he later kind of disclosed. He knew all along. At this point, even right here, he knew that she knew, and vice versa, that she had intentions to kill him. So I think we're kind of learning what kind of powers that we may not have thought, characters like, hey, welcome Messiah, characters like Vader or
Oh,
the Emperor might have had. Like, can they literally read people's minds, like, right from the get-go? And why can't Jedi kind of do that?
I think
Like,
I
do you
think what
think
he did,
if Luke?
he knew that he left her alive. He knew that he'd left her alive for
Yeah,
this
that's
reason.
exactly how I feel, Messiah. Yeah, but I mean, like, say the Roken character, Ice Cube Jr. Say he knew, where Quinlan was, or um, the dude from the video game. Like, he just knows, oh, this guy's on this planet.
Yeah,
And he didn't tell Obi-Wan. Like, why couldn't Obi-Wan read his mind, much like we've seen Reva do? Do it obviously by putting her hand up by the head or whatever, but maybe they don't have to go that far. Maybe they can just stand there and kind of reach inside your mind and read
yeah.
it. But
Well,
it's
Vader's
not something I've
powerful
ever
enough
seen
to
a
do
Jedi
that,
do.
ain't he?
Yeah, no, it's just interesting
But
because she's not like writing it down in her journal. I don't think. Like,
Vader has to use a mind probe in Star Wars on Leia.
exactly. Yeah, that too. But it's kind of neat to see, take a knee and the kind of get knighted kind of, feel to that scene and slap the badge on her. Even though it gets stripped later. A couple of shots here I took just because I thought it was a great shot. Again, one of the things I like about this Kenobi series more than some of the other ones is it it looks, there may be points where it looks kind of cheaper and made for TV, but I do think the cinematography and who's ever picking these shots, whether it's from the initial concept drawing, which we know a lot of this kind of comes from, I think it looks great. Like, again, one of my favorite parts of this series. I think Kenobi might learn from his memories a way to defeat Anakin in a way. But
Yeah.
now here's a question. Now, was tonight's flashback showing
Because if you think in
Obi-Wan and
Star
Anakin
Wars,
fighting, was that just as good as a fight between Vader and Kenobi?
do you
I think it
think
was.
in Star Wars where when I left you, I was but the learner, so Obi-Wan's going to teach him lessons again.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's got a
Yeah,
little more. He's got a couple more lessons. Exactly,
yeah.
Mark. I think that's a good way of putting it. So I guess he's asking. We see the return of Kumail. Can't remember his character's name, but he wants him to babysit. And at one point, he hands off his lightsaber and communicator and blaster. Here, take this. I'm going with no weapons, so I thought that was kind of neat. So first time I've seen one of these Weeble Wobble
Weebles, yeah, a
droids.
Weeble droid, Sabutio
So I
droid.
guess it moves similar to a BB-8, but it can't because it's only half a wheel. So it probably has
Yeah,
a one little bowling ball underneath. But either way, it's pretty neat. We see it working, doing some welding later on. Yeah, we'll call him R2 Weeble Wobble. Another good
what for lover?
shot. We get a lot of the blues, like in scenes like this, and then when him and Reva go at it later, we get a lot of the reds. And weirdly, from taking pictures from my iPhone, the colors are quite vibrant. But I do like the design and everything about Vader so far. I can't pick anything apart. I don't like it. Looks original trilogy Star Wars, pre Jedi era. So I like that. I think that was the same look they went for with Rogue One as well. So I
Yeah,
have a question
we
here.
go back to New Hope. It's now with it being in HD, the helmet looks terrible in New Hope compared with
Yeah,
the rest of the movie.
it's because it's not perfect on both sides, right?
No,
It's
no,
not
it's
fully symmetrical,
yeah,
and there's
it's
even
very
like
homemade.
there's a little spike on the top. You
Yeah,
can see it a couple odd scenes. But question for everyone here: how did Lola open and close this door? Because I don't see any arms or tentacles or force powers. But
yeah,
if I could have took a video clip here, you all saw it. The door opened, the little droid goes flying in, and then it closes
Magnetic.
behind it. I'm like, how did it close it?
With magnets.
So this is what I'm going to complain about on Twitter all day. Is, oh my God, Star Wars is ruined because they didn't explain how Lola opened the door. But
Yeah.
but still, the Mickey Mouse ears must have some powers. Vader was a little intimidating today. Even just when you're standing on the bridge.
Bring him back to the scary Vader, don't we?
Yeah. So I don't have my translator or goggles on, but give it till like 11 a.m. tomorrow, and all the people.
We'll get that by the end of the day. We'll get all those names.
So potentially, right here, some spoilers for the new spin-off show, or the sequel, or to what this is. Or it says Quinlan Voss was here. Eat sand, pound sand, Anakin. Yeah, good point. It is space, like it is science fiction. I guess the doors just they have a spring-loaded mechanism.
Not so much time thinking about it.
That are not practical and they're invisible. And then maybe we can zoom in on this a little bit, but yeah. Oops.
That Mace Windows.
It does look like Mace Windows.
Yeah.
Is that on the screen there? Okay. So he's on this planet, right?
Darth Maul's.
I can't remember the name of this planet now, but I'm assuming that these were all retrieved from this planet, unless they're, because this is like their little base. They're not like collecting these from other planets. So
yeah.
He picked up one, like that one in the very middle that has like a just solid black on one half. He picked up that one like he knew who it was.
Yeah, it looks like it.
The one behind it looks like Qui-Gon's a little bit.
Qui-Gon's, yeah, just thinking.
But I can't see why Qui-Gon's would be on this planet. Yes, he sure did.
Yeah.
There was also, I got a good picture of it. There was a wicked scene where Anakin and Obi-Wan were fighting, and Anakin just did a fancy spinorama move, and then Obi-Wan just took the saber out of his hand, and I'm like, damn, man, like you could do that the whole time. Like, come on, why don't we see that in every fight? So I guess he just let loose and didn't. Okay, now how do I zoom out? So yeah, that was my move of the day. But here we see Kenobi grabs a new robe.
Yep.
It looks like it's sleeveless. Because you look at this now, he's wearing a dark kind of robe now with dark sleeves, and then underneath he's got this creamy white kind of shirt, and this is an even darker, almost blackish robe, which could be his Obi-Wan cape, like when he's old man. Yeah. But later it looks like the sleeves are white, so I don't know, he does an obvious costume change, and we don't kind of. I guess he pulls the new costume out of these boxes. Yeah, the lightsabers will all be, give it till 11 a.m.
Yeah.
We can go to sleep. Let those guys stay up all night and figure it out. They get all the views. Speaking of views, what I got here? I got 11 in here. Do I have 10 likes? 10 likes would be good. I'll accept that. So yeah, my call is that's probably his robe that we know now. Another cool shot. I took this just because it was another reflection that rhymes with other reflections in Star Wars, and that's the exact same windscreen. And another cool, what I'm going to call rhyming iconic shot of his ship heading towards the planet, and then launching these two kind of new, I guess they were calling them troop transports of some kind.
Yeah, landers, yeah.
Yeah. So they weren't really original trilogy, but kind of a new vehicle, I think. And I believe these are Transdoshans.
Yeah. Nice that they weren't all human type. There was some evidence there as well.
And right before this, there was a Nitko, like with the two horns.
Yeah.
He kind of ran by really quick, and it was too blurry of a picture, so I didn't upload it. And yeah, maybe there was a bunch of robes there too. If there was that many sabers, maybe that's how Kenobi gets all his gear. Yeah, it's interesting. They do think of these things, right? Like it's people's like, oh, the writing is garbage, and it's like someone had to think of that, like where Kenobi gets, his robe or
Yeah,
other little things like that, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
because like if they've escaped and gone through the path, they'd probably leave the sabers.
yeah, there could just be, sabers that from the lost and found, on those transports. I don't know if that's what Paul's saying, but yeah, I guess it's from dead Jedi's, like, and I'm also assuming that the Jedi's that are encased in, the tree sap, that the Inquisitors have all those sabers because we do kind of see a bunch of sabers on display at the,
Yeah,
Clitorius Island, whatever it's called. We don't get another great shot of the Purge Trooper helmet, but I think the 2 or 3 of them go down pretty quick.
yeah,
So I liked a lot of things in this, Imperial Army kind of attack, and then there's a couple of things that looked like it was, you know, lost in
I think
space.
those were the 501st again.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that's confirmed that lots of guys,
Yeah.
501st cosplayers are involved with these, which is pretty cool. It's neat because the fans get to be involved, right? Yeah, the Purge Troopers. There's
Yeah,
some merch out there with T-shirts. If you do a Google search, or you can see the shape. It's got a good Vader fin on the
yeah,
back, and even a little triangle on the face. It's pretty neat. I'm assuming we'll see him again. They wouldn't just show him so little. But again, lots of
well, yeah, they've got to sell toys.
straight up, symmetry with a lot of these shots. And most of these shots are done on a stagecraft, the volume set. So it
Yeah,
is pretty easy for them to line up these shots and get them perfect. And they did well with them, I think. And her ship is way bigger than those transport ships that had like 30 stormtroopers on them each. And I think she came off her ship like by herself. Like, so
yeah,
she can potentially fit 100 people on her ship. And then we finally get to see a couple of scenes with Leia, and she's like, "I'll go climb a ladder into the air shafts." So she's got
yeah.
a little bit
There
of
you go. You're
adventure in
saying
her.
with the sleeveless robe.
Okay, see it there. But yeah, he's made a costume change like since
Yeah,
I last had a picture of him, because now he's got a light colored underrobe
yeah,
when it was dark colored before.
yeah,
So is this just to make another figure? But this is also similar garb that we see in like those statues, like those sideshow 50-year-old
yeah.
Obi-Wan statues. That's exactly what it is. The light underrobe. He's got a new belt, it looks like. I could be wrong, but yeah, it's neat to see the costume changes. And she's back to the white, so again, mirroring
Yeah.
original, the New Hope look. And then he gets, someone calls him on his space iPhone, and I was kind of curious. I'm like, oh shit, who could this be? It's got to be Bale, and it was Bale. And I guess Obi-Wan's been ignoring him. They're playing iPhone tag in space. They obviously, can save the messages because they're pre-recorded, right? I'm thinking they could get live calls too, because we've seen that kind of communication before. Grabs new lightsaber to help protect Obi-Wan and the children. Her revenge on Vader. Well, she's still gonna have a chance. That's without a doubt.
Yeah, that's his only bugbear for this episode for me. Is Vader would never have left her alive. Why did they leave her alive?
He left her alive the same reason he's leaving Kenobi alive. It's almost like he has, kind of like Kenobi doesn't want to kill him. I guess he doesn't want to
Yeah,
kill
but
Kenobi either.
Vader does want to kill her. But I know he does. I know the
Deep down he
Inquisitor
does,
does
you're right.
say, "We'll leave you in the gutter, like
Yeah.
like we found you." But why?
For the spin-off,
Just,
Mark.
just kill her.
For the new spin-off.
Exactly.
But
Just kill her.
here's what's cool about that. She wants to fucking kill Vader, and she wants
Yeah.
to fucking kill Kenobi. She wants to kill the protagonist and the antagonist. So what does that make her? It just makes her extra badass.
Yeah, I know.
It's time for the revolution.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of a
Team her up with Dr. Aphra and I'll be happy.
blaster here. So she's kind of got that Han Solo, but I was mentioning to Mark earlier, she's got these little notches on her belt.
Yeah.
And I believe it was for the Jedis that she helped, save off this island. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There might be 20 plus here.
Yeah.
So rest in peace to this lady now, but I think that she's got a backstory, and we're going to see it in a comic book or maybe this spin-off. Why wouldn't it go back 10 years? Boba Fett went back 10 years. So I'm calling it. Wait. Oh, I'm calling it right now. This lady, whose name I can't remember, will be the lead in the spin-off series of this Kenobi verse show.
Will we see Vader in that then?
Absolutely. I think there's room for all the characters we've seen in this series so far. Rokin, Kumail, even young Leia, and Luke. And again, why not have another adventure? At this point, I don't care. I don't think they're ruining any canon. At this point, I also think they could freeze Kenobi for 10 years in tree sap, and there's a whole story there. We don't know what happens for the next 10 years. So there's lots of room for story. Tala is her name. Yeah. I was talking to Mark right before the show for 5 minutes, and I think this actress is perfect for Star Wars. She is nailing her character. I liked her in a Game of Thrones. I think her British accent works. So I like her. I like Reva, but this character is a great character on the show, and it's sad to see her get a hole in her belly and be the one of 3 people to get a hole in the belly and die, because now there's been 3 people in the show, 2 sabers to the belly, 1 shot in the belly, and she dies. So are blaster bolts less deadly than a red lightsaber? She definitely could be an Andor, because that's going back 10 years for sure, right?
Andor's after this, isn't it? Yeah, it is, yeah. Because this is 9 years before New Hope.
And Andor is right before. Yeah, so this series...
5 years before.
Yeah, this series should end... Well, if it's going to be a filler in a way where it ends, and very close to that's where Andor will pick up. Yeah. Because Andor will have a 10-year story it can tell too. Welcome, Orlando. What did you think of the show, Orlando? Because I think everyone in the chat's pretty happy with tonight's episode. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I'm thinking we'll see Anakin's face. We'll see Hayden Christensen in the Vader and get a damaged helmet. Kind
of like in the cartoons?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be neat, even if it's like Kenobi having a dream, like another dream sequence, or not a flashback because it's not real, but yeah, most of the flashback and things we see tend to be real and not like what we have, imaginary dreams of things that don't ever happen. Yeah, indeed, rest in peace, Ned B. He never beeped, he never complained. He was a pretty good shot. He fought for him, and he sacrificed himself to help protect that lady, who I'm surprised didn't get dragged away by the robot. But we see a cool little, bowcaster again.
Yep.
Like, why you need a bowcaster to shoot laser bolts out of a rifle is still beyond me. Like, that's science. It's Lucas science. It's brand new stuff. But then we get, I guess, what happens here? Oh yeah, Kenobi says he wants to speak to Reva through the door. So they go have a little chit chat through the door, and he kind of figures her out, and at the same time, she's having flashbacks.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know. I didn't think we're gonna. I think maybe there was 2 or 3 flashbacks that she had, in regards to her as a youngling here. So I was surprised at that. I didn't, hear any rumors about it or spoilers, but it was pretty cool. Like, it just goes to confirm, what a lot of us had as rumors and stuff at the beginning. A lot of it was right in front of our faces, right? Oh, Rolando. You wouldn't believe that, Kenobi gets both his arms chopped off then. Like, wait till I get to that picture, you'll shit yourself. But yeah, so in her little flashbacks, we do get to see Hayden again as not Anakin, but Darth Vader.
Yeah.
I didn't really notice the yellow eyes, but I'll try and have a closer look on the replay. Because I believe she has 2 different flashbacks where we see Anakin walking forward with the 501st, and I thought that was fantastic. Like, he looks great in the hood. You don't need to de-age anyone at this point. It's just cool lighting, and I think this scene was like 2.4 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I guess deflections or something, extra protection when they're training with each other. But a good emotional scene with her as she does reveal
what we
that
already
she
knew.
indeed is going to try and kill Vader, not just take a stand by his side as a Grand Inquisitor. She's got her reasons. And Obi offers to help, and she's having none of it because she wants to kill Obi-Wan too for not saving her. When he it's his Padawan. We all know the story. Like, he found out right after it happened. So it's not like, it's weird that he knew it was happening, but at the same time, he was not able to do anything. So, Vader first seen coming out of the back tank, he didn't have his massive head scar. Well, I have to believe that in some way, that back to tank is healing Anakin, in some form. If it can heal a Wookiee, if it can heal a Boba Fett, if it can heal the scars on Luke Skywalker's face from the Wampa, and it must have some healing powers. So I don't think it's just keeping Vader alive. I think it might heal him, but maybe just in the minimal amounts. Maybe he goes for another bath in the lava. And she really aggressively, opens this door. It didn't take her about 8 seconds. Welcome, Josh. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode.
Yeah,
I think the consensus is that we did enjoy it. So this kind of went on for about a minute, and let's say there's 50 stormtroopers, and then they had 10 people firing back at them. It wasn't a fair battle, and it lasted longer than I thought it would have. So
yeah, but the stormtroopers, aren't they?
I'm not complaining. I love seeing the OG stormtroopers. That's one of the best parts of this, is that it's the era that I grew up with. So I love the armor. Ned B, also a pretty good shot. Took many out. We see a couple of like Wookiee throwing moments as well, when he's out of ammo. So yeah, then sadly she takes a blaster to the belly and did not survive it. When
lots of belly damage in this series.
Yeah, it is definitely the third one of a key character. I know I'm perceived as a hater after my opinions on Book of Boba Fett. Well, moments I enjoyed. Overall, I was very disappointed in this episode. Oh man,
what?
I thought you were a prequel baby. I thought you'd have a big boner for Anakin.
Why? How can you be disappointed?
All right, I'm just going to mute Josh here for the rest of the show. Okay.
No, I want to know why. I want to know why he's disappointed.
Yeah, you will have to explain yourself.
Yeah, Paul saying, why? That's
So yeah,
I don't think it was a belly shot that killed her. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Rest in
you can
pieces.
explain yourself, Josh, if you like. But yeah, a great character. Like, it's sad that she did die and she's no longer part of this story going forward. But like I said, my left coast theory is we'll see her again. She's got a story to tell. Um, I liked her as a character, so I hope other people did too, because I guarantee you we'll see her again, whether it's Andor or the Kenobi spin-off that leads into Andor. And with seeing her again, she obviously had a huge connection with this droid, as like she was bawling when this droid was like protecting her and taking
Yeah, when
20 shots to the back. She was like,
when she came back, they like embraced, didn't they?
it was like her baby. So
Yeah.
again,
Bit of a Lando
because
L3 situation, I think.
because she is so great.
Rick has got a crazy theory.
I don't think it's crazy. I think her and Ned 8 are some of the biggest characters in this show right now, over top of Kumail and Ice Cube Jr., Roken. And I'm glad, because they are, besides Reva, two of my other favorite characters in this series. And yeah, we see the thermal detonator, the Boosh style, and I'm sure it showed up some other stories and timelines and whatnot. But yeah, that was pretty tough. And then Obi-Wan, as his door kind of closes in on him.
I was quite disappointed by the explosion. I thought we were going to get like a sonic blast from it. It's just like hand grenade, isn't it?
One thing I'll nitpick a little bit is, like, even when those stormtroopers are blasting at this door, coming up in a scene, I thought it was quite interesting that the pyrotechnics and stuff were actually like not good. Like, there was no CGI. It was just a couple of guys with firecrackers, like they did in 1977. I think it's 2022. They could have embellished it a little bit.
Yeah, but the computer generated stuff in this series has not been good, has it?
When it comes to those little bit of explosions, when the stormtroopers are getting shot and going down, I like it
like those
that they're not all stuntmen and they're a little bit clumsy and they fall down. That's all part of like how Star Wars was, and it does give me that little bit of made in the 70s, 80s feel. But it shouldn't look that way because of maybe a budget. But I still think there's no expense. If they want to build another life-size spaceship, they'll build it. It's freaking Lucasfilm.
It's not a damn prequel, baby.
It's, again, all these timelines. The Bad Batch timelines are going more to the Mandoverse, though, but they all exist in this timeline as well. From like Series 1 age, I guess. Or what age would they be? What's Josh? I think the only character that should matter is Obi-Wan. They have wasted too much time.
They can't just focus on one. I know it's called Obi-Wan Kenobi, but you can't just have him sat in the desert watching Luke every day.
Yeah, and it's only called Obi-Wan Kenobi because it's a marketable, trademarkable name, much like, Han Solo, a Star Wars story. That was a story about, how he became who he was.
The story is that Obi-Wan Kenobi thought it was a failure, and he was depressed in the desert, and this has turned him around, and what will lead him to look after Luke later on in New Hope.
I kind of really disagree with this, Josh. I don't think that's anything like the sequels. Like, the sequels were, I don't know, $3 billion worth of movies made over like 9 years.
I mean, Josh is saying they're predictable. He's saying it is very predictable. I said that last week. It's very simplistic story. It's very predictable, but it's enjoyable.
Yeah. It's kind of George Lucas's style with things rhyme.
We called it at the beginning what was going to happen.
Things rhyme with each other, and it's There's a reason why his blaster is similar to like what Han Solo or Luke would have. Like
I
it's
don't think he's like Boba Fett. I think we've seen more Obi-Wan than we saw Boba Fett. We've not gone on to Mando, have we yet?
no Mando hasn't walked by yet, but again, he's around. He's a guy with silver armor. He's not
I
a
mean,
child.
they could have called the show Kenobi versus Vader.
Yeah, they could have called it,
You know what I mean? But
whatever the name of this planet is, Jakku or whatever it's called. Yeah, I think there's parts, Josh. Like I said, there's parts that kind of look like it's, they didn't spend $1 billion on it, but
no,
then
they had
again,
to
I think
pay
they
Ewan,
make
didn't
up for it when they pay someone like Ewan McGregor $10 million to be on it, right? Got to take that kind of stuff in consideration.
I mean, there's some famous actors in this, so you know what I mean.
Yeah, even like
made a
they're
lot
coming
for-
for the smaller roles, like the Val
Yeah.
girl. That's what she's she commands a heavy paycheck. Yeah, so Kenobi gives up. I guess some plan that we didn't know about. It worked in the end. They did get out of there, but I don't think that was his plan. This I thought was a neat flashback and callback to Leia again trying to repair the Falcon and Han Solo smooch.
That's what I thought. Yeah, straight away.
So yeah, that was pretty cool. And then she fixed her robot. She pulled out the bug. Oh, now you're good to go again. So Lola's a good robot again, as far as we know. So again, we see the almost Kenner mini rig hovering, blaster cannon, which I thought was the part that looked like real shitty explosions. I'm like, they could have really blown something up.
Yeah.
But yeah, get on your knees. He was listening to everything she said, and they had a little whisper. Again, kind of the same look. We have to assume a lot of this is the volume where they can turn it to be exactly where the camera sees it. So I do like that. It's like the book that is in Legends.
Yeah.
So at this point, I kind of didn't know what was going to go on. I'm like, oh shit, is this?
I thought we'd get the Inquisitor.
Is he going back to Vader's ship, right?
He has been down for 3 episodes. So.
I was kind of hoping he'd go back to Vader's Star Destroyer, just because we haven't seen Kenobi on a Star Destroyer. It'd be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
At least now all the people are freaking out about the Grand Inquisitor is Reva, Josh. At this point, you did watch the episode, right? This lady right here is the Grand Inquisitor, and even the Grand Inquisitor, who became alive again, called her the Grand Inquisitor, which I thought was actually really cool.
They did say that they're not going to change canon, so we knew it was going to be back.
So I wasn't like, yeah, he's back. I was like, I kind of assumed he'd be back because of the lighting here with the lightsaber reflection. But we do see they did a pretty decent job of slapping an inch of makeup or de-aging, whatever they did. We were assuming they did a little bit of de-aging, but
yeah,
he's still a handsome guy. Like, he doesn't look like he's
I don't look that different.
40 years old. He looks pretty good. He did take it back, and then he let her live. Sucker. Yeah. Okay, so here's the the red-eyed droid.
Let you live just because for story reasons. We'll let you live.
So I guess they spend a couple bucks on this kind of CGI stuff because this takes time, and I think it makes for why I'm liking this series. Overall, is the look. There's lots of scenes like this that I think look fantastic. Just a gutter rat. But how does she survive a gut shot? Why is the one lady that is a good character die? Because she got up, she hugged her robot. She couldn't have ran 8 feet to that wall. So yes, she's. This is where Kumail drops, Kenobi's iPhone. Frickin' Kumail.
Bloody hell.
Smoking fatties.
One
again.
job.
Yes, very much like the hand taking a little badge, right? And it, of course, it does pull from that kind of thing. They all
Totally.
have swords and for future comics cameos and toy reasons. Yeah, absolutely. Like, I want to see Reva's new outfit. She's still got her saber. It's a half a saber.
Well,
but
she's got her own series, hasn't she? So
she's gonna need. Well, it's not. She's gonna be in the series. Is my theory. The rumors that people are spreading saying she's getting a spinoff. They're just pulling shit out of their ass.
That's why I'd like to have seen her died. Then you can have a spin-off.
They need to word it like me and call it a theory and not call it. My contact told me there's a Reva spinoff. I say it as it is. My theory is she's not dead, and guess what? She's not dead. And
we're not
it's
doomed.
time for
We're not.
it's
Bank
time
Zero.
for, time for a revolution, Josh.
There are theories.
And Josh brings it up just as I was about to get to that. Josh, come on, man. This we see the force pulling of the spaceship coming down. So it was kind of neat to see this, and I was surprised that, of course, there's another ship waiting in the background.
Yeah, you can see that.
Yeah, but I didn't think it when it happened.
It didn't sense the people on it or no people on it.
Just waiting.
You know what I mean?
Just waiting, right? But I guess it also means he can do that. He can pull a ship down. He can rip the whole side off of it. Why you couldn't just rip the side off of it when it's up in the air, I don't understand. But yeah, he does that, and then you can almost see through it. Well, you do see through it as the other ship takes off and like kind of.
So why didn't he do it to that one?
They hit the Dukes of Hazzard horn on the way out, like just poking it at him. Yeah, so what Josh is saying now is absolutely correct, and that's what all next series or next episode I believe will be mostly on Tatooine, is my guess now. So this is that scene where Anakin kind of bests him on a little spinorama Jedi move, and then Obi-Wan just kind of just force takes the lightsaber out of his hand perfectly, and like it was a good Kelso burn, if you ask me. But yes, now that Reva has found she could have a saber spinoff. I was hoping she'd do Kenobi at one point. But because she found, well, she's not even dead at this point. I got to get to that first, Josh. Yeah, we do see some spinny saber action.
I liked how he stopped the spinning, though. That was good.
Yeah, and he made it go the opposite way.
Spinning.
So, yeah, she wasn't much of a match. She tried to spinoramas with the sabers. Looked really cool. I still don't understand why the frickin' $500 toy doesn't spin, since it's the only gimmick it has is it lights up red and spins. And if you're paying $500 for a stick that lights up red, I would say save your money, kids. It doesn't spin. But yeah, he takes it and snaps in half like a pretzel. And then I thought, oh, he's gonna do what he did to Dooku, is what I thought, right? Kneel. I thought he was gonna tell her to kneel again.
Do it.
And just off her head. I totally thought this was
exactly. That's what Vader would do.
It was what Anakin actually did, right? So I wonder if we ever get to see Vader do something that, well, we've seen him break the neck. That was pretty serious. All I can just say is I disagree with that. Like, everything is fan service. Otherwise, it's a negative 4 out of 10.
I will watch it.
Why would he make it? Like, people just volunteer and make fan films.
There'd be no fans if they want fan service, would there?
Yeah, so come on, man. I can't mute you. He did look old, but I've seen your profile picture, and I think you're probably about the same age as him. He looked pretty good. I think Kenobi.
Yeah, he still looks pretty good.
Ewan's a little more of a handsome gentleman, as a 40-something-year-old man, but Hayden's a pretty handsome Canadian gentleman too, in his early 40s. So I think they did pretty good. Better than the original, like Leia and Tarkin from Rogue One, which are still pretty badass.
Yeah.
Yes, Paul, I definitely thought Dooku moments as soon as I saw two sabers. But why would he not pull out his own saber? And at any point,
Because he was just toying with her, wanted. He knew it was going to happen.
he battled her for 2 minutes with no saber.
Yeah.
He just pushed her back, made her do cartwheels, like he went left, right. And I'm like, oh,
Showing
man.
her that
Ragdoll.
it's futile.
But yeah, then see the sweat in their heads, and this is where, again, the Dooku moment's coming, and the revolution is over. But another flashback with Vader in the hood, which is pretty cool. Another reason to make that figure again. And then, what appears to be like an iconic, assassination thing that we may have seen in, from Caesar or any gladiator type movie or Sword in the Stones type of movie. And she freaking lives. So
Yeah.
if there's something to question,
Well, Qui-Gon.
here's what the Phantom Menace can complain about tomorrow. How does she live? She doesn't have two stomachs.
Yeah. Nobody dies.
And because he lived, and he even kind of spilled the beans on like Jimmy Kimmel or something. He's like, did you die? He's like, oh, I did only get stabbed in one stomach. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, dude, you're probably not supposed to say that. But
well, he knew he survived because he's in bloody Rebels.
And I think that's his real hair, Josh. I think that's what made it a little more believable. But fuck, this actor's nailing this role. The lips look black now, like they look like it's a dark blue black color, which I don't know if they were.
Spinning the back to tank.
So I wonder if he is undead now in a way, like if Vader actually saved him, or if it's just the stupid stomach theory. Yeah,
well,
I'm not
he's
saying
kept alive in the comics. Well, after he's died, he's got his
in a room like on fire, right?
Yeah,
in some temple. So I wonder if Vader saved him, or if it had nothing to do with it, because I still think Vader saving people has something to do with his story. Again, I think the storytelling is good, man. I think they're answering some questions that don't even need to be answered. And I don't call that fan service. I call that creative writing. I'm not a writer. I'm an artist. So I like the look of the stuff and the sound effects, the costume design, the practical sets and props that they do build, like Ice Cube Jr.'s bowcaster and stuff like that. Like, that's not Chewbacca's bowcaster, but it's a cool callback to it.
Yeah.
And it's a space crossbow.
Yeah, there's got to be more than one bowcaster in the universe.
I agree, Josh. I think they did match these costumes. I think in the cartoons, he's got more of a turtleneck thing going on that makes his cartoon character look like it has a longer neck, because he also has a longer looking face. But I think the armor does look great. Like
stiff metal.
There's some shiny black, and then there's some matte black, which Vader doesn't really have. He's kind of all the same shine, right? Yeah, they'd be a great metal band if they all had that cool makeup on. But yeah, I didn't think she was going to die at this point. I'm like, okay, now she's not dead. When the Sith Inquisitor guy says, goodbye, Grand Inquisitor, and took his little badge back, he left her to live. And she's got a hole in her belly. She's got half of her Hasbro lightsaber. And then she finds the Jedi iPhone that Kumail dropped. And Kenobi knew it. He sensed it almost like as she picked it up. Of course, they cut to him, but I mean, if the timing was the same, it's neat that he does have the Force powers that we see in later movies. Thanks, Shane. Yeah, have a good night. I know it's 2:00. We won't be much longer here. So yeah, like Josh was saying, we kind of hear garbled children, Tatooine, Kenobi, whatever. So guess where she's going? And there's
Trademark
still a
that.
ship sitting there.
Trademark it.
What? Revolution?
No. Next comment.
The Jedi phone. Yes. I shouldn't put a space in there. But yeah, so I don't think I got a picture of it, but there is a ship, like right there. Like there's a spaceship there. So not only did they leave her
Oh, she's
alive,
going to Tatooine, isn't she?
they like left her with the keys to the car in the car. Like, so that's messed up. Yeah, she's going to Tatooine, and now Kenobi knows he's got to go to Tatooine to save Luke. And at the same time, I don't know if he's going to pawn off Leia. You go deliver her to Alderaan, or if they're all going to Tatooine. I can't see them all going to Tatooine. I think at some point Leia, her story's done.
Can't go to Tatooine, can
I? She's had a good adventure on a show.
Because it hates sand.
Couple good scenes in tonight's episode, but yeah. Good night, Shane. Thanks. I do hope. I don't know. Do you think she'd get to meet young Luke if Kenobi is also going back to Tatooine?
Yeah, I think she might.
Hi, my name's Luke. Hi, my name's Leia. I don't think that happens.
Oh no, that's not going to happen.
I think there's blaster fire and laser swords happening when they see each other. But yeah,
what's going on?
As the episode
that's not
ends,
Luke.
Yeah, that's Luke for sure.
That's not Luke. He's got dark hair.
Well,
he ain't got his dishwasher.
It is Luke.
What?
You just don't recognize him without his red arm and his goggles. Well, yeah, it just kind of ends zooming in on him. I believe that's the last one I got. And so, yeah, we know, as Josh was saying, it's going back to Tatooine, which I'm cool with. We still got a chance to see Hammerhead, which one of the most important characters in all of Star Wars.
Hammerhead, a Star Wars story.
History, right? But we still got 13 people in the chat. So if I don't have 13 likes, I'm just not going to end the stream. I'm just going to go all night and keep you all late for work, because I know at least 50% of you might stick around. No, I'm just kidding. I do want to let everyone go. I know it's late. We'll try and get on again in the weekend, whether it's on my channel or my channel, and we'll talk a little more left coast theories, because, yeah, I think this story has got a little more to tell, and I'm interested to see the revolution continue. And maybe she teams up with Hammerhead and they become like a new team. They get new matching uniforms. One thing I want to bring up, Mark, is the boys. Yeah, all their costumes are complete garbage. Like, are they doing that on purpose? Because that's what they look like. They're really jokey. Like they're almost made to look bad on purpose. Like,
yeah. That's the point. That's the whole point.
But it's kind of neat. Like I'm caught up on it.
It's a piss take of Marvel and DC.
It's violent as
it's just basically a piss take.
Yeah, and now I hear there's going to be a spin-off with a bunch of teenagers that are Soup's teenage school. Yeah. So interesting, more violent.
Yeah. Like there's a season 4. There's season 4 coming. So Homelander's not going to die. I don't know how they're going to work that into it, but.
He's a good actor. I do like the character that
Homelander's
plays Homelander.
I don't want him to die, but
I loved him in. He did another show that only lasted a season or two. He was like a wandering stranger and just became the sheriff of a town, and the police station was inside an old Cadillac car dealership, like in Texas. And it was a freaking brilliant show, and only lasted a year or two. And I can't remember what it's called, but I'm sure a couple people have seen it in chat. It was like the only other show he's done, basically. That's where they picked him up from. So, yeah, thanks, Josh. Thanks, everyone, for coming by. I know Mark's getting up, having some coffee, but us and
totally
North America got to go to bed. So, yeah, thanks for staying here, Paul, and hanging out for the chat and Zuckus. And Josh, even though you didn't like it, whatever. 2 other people did like it. That's all. I'll take it. and Shane, who already left. But yeah, thanks for joining me, Mark. As
Yeah, no
it's
problem.
always a lot easier to bounce back off of, another fan, even if they dislike it. But I think you liked it as much as me, and that's
Totally.
cool. As long as we both got something good.
Any Vader. Just give me any Vader.
Yeah, it's sounding pretty good. He had a couple of good lines tonight too.
Yeah.
So it's worst death ever. Whose death? No, nobody died.
No, he's talking about the boys.
Oh, well, yeah. There's some
That
nasty
death,
unthinkable deaths.
Yeah, it's sneezing death.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Good to see you for coming. Thanks for stopping by. Please hit that like button on your way out, and if you haven't already subscribed, I would appreciate the.
See, the difference between the boys and Kenobi is Kenobi, you know what's going to happen, but the boys, it just turns like 90 degrees every time. Every like the last episode of the boys, there were so many twists and turns in it, and so much content in one episode. It was just amazing.
It was pretty neat. Yeah, there was a couple of surprises in that last episode.
Yeah,
when that season's over, we should get on and have a chat about it because
totally.
I'm not big on the comics, but I am familiar with this show now that I've watched all the shows. So it'll be interesting to see. So
brilliant.
Thanks, Michael. Have a good day yourself, and we'll catch everyone on the flip side. And with a little outro video. Thanks, guys.
Hello there.
The circle is now complete. When I left you, I was but a learner. Now I am the master.
Only a master of evil, Darth.
What is it?
I think I've just found out what they're hiding down here. This place isn't a fortress. It's a tomb.
The revolution has begun. Good night, everyone.